This is the Good Government Show.
It solved a lot of different problems. One, it was becoming an eyesore as the parking lot and everything was kind of deteriorating around it. And two, it provided a home for the Johnson County Museum.
It probably would have been torn down and a gas station put on the property, which, I suppose that's okay. But I think saving the structure, modernizing the structure, redeveloping it turned out very, very well.
This is a story about making something old new again. It's about restoring a landmark building. It's about the history of electricity and creating a new arts community. It's about local government seeing an opportunity and creating a new use for an old space. It's about government working. Welcome to the Good Government Show. I'm David Martin.
And I'm Carol DeOria. So, David, where are we off to now?
We're off to Johnson County, Kansas, and this is a Kansas City suburb called Overland Park.
So what good is the government doing in Johnson County?
Well, they're doing something pretty remarkable, actually.
Well, do tell. You said the history of electricity. How does that figure in?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So first we have to go back. There was a time when having an electric hairdryer, an iron that you plug into a wall, and a television was a big deal. At one of these new housing developments they were building, the Kansas City Gas and Electric built a model home. It was a 1954 state-of-the-art house.
Oh, I can't imagine. What does a state-of-the-art house in 1954 look like?
Well, to the people of 1954, it was very modern. And even today, it's pretty cool. It had modern extras, electric curtains. You push a button and your curtains open. No gas, no coal, just electricity to run your stove, heat your house, and power your house. The new television, it was still black and white, but it was hidden behind a painting. Push a button and the TV was revealed. Pretty modern and exciting stuff. This electric house was actually lived in by two families.
It reminds me of the Old World's Fair, and General Electric had the house of the future. I guess for 1954, pretty advanced stuff, huh?
Sure, a lot of it is standard today, and some of it didn't really take off, but no one uses a cast iron to press their clothes anymore. It was pretty amazing, and it was pretty well reserved. Two families lived there.
So you said the history of electricity. Is there more history?
Yes, there is. But we're going to stay in the past, but we're going to just jump forward a little bit to 1959. Someone's living in the electric house. They're using all their modern conveniences, no doubt the envy of their neighbors, but the area is expanding. And this was the year they built the King Louis bowling alley. But this was no ordinary alley. First, it was a great example of Googie architecture.
Googie architecture. You're going to have to explain that one to me.
You're not familiar. All right, well, look. Think about the Jetsons.
Right.
Think futuristic design.
Okay.
You've seen Googie architecture. You probably didn't even know it. Think about those original McDonald's with those big buildings and those big golden arches on both sides.
Okay.
Right. See, you are well versed in Googie architecture. The main theme building at Los Angeles Airport when you fly into LA, that kind of building right in the middle. The Welcome to Las Vegas sign. It was space age. It was atomic designs, and it was intended to look modern.
Who knew? So Googie architecture, learn something every day. So was this just a modern bowling alley with a few space age signs?
Oh, no. This was not just a bowling alley. They had an ice rink, but really this was the center of community life. If you were a kid or even a teenager, you went to the King Louis. In its heyday, it hosted parties, it had school events. I think they even had the prom there once. They even had a local Bowling for Dollars TV show there. There was a mezzanine where you could sort of check it out and look down on people skating. I mean, really, it was the place to be.
Like a cool place.
Yeah, it was a cool place. It was the place to be. But, like all things, it started to fade. It lost its popularity. Shopping malls, new, multiplex movie theaters, and other new cool venues.
Okay, but you kind of lost me there. We have an electric house and a one-time popular bowling alley. What's the connection?
All right. So now we leave the 1950s, and now we're here in 2016. And here we are in Johnson County. The all-electric house, that has become a museum piece. Two families lived there. They moved out. Someone decided to preserve it. They put it in an old school, but that old school building is falling apart. And the King Louis, that's pretty much falling apart. It's been abandoned. It's been gutted. It's probably not long for this world. It's become sort of an eyesore for the community. So there are two issues here. One, the electric house is getting moldy, and they have to move it.
It sounds like somebody wants to take a bulldozer to it.
Well, no, because this is history. You can't do that. And the bowling alley, with its Googie architecture you're now well familiar with, now it's just a useless old building. But behind the scenes, people are working. The Johnson County administrators are looking for a place to house the electric house, and everyone agrees that this bowling alley could work. And this This is where Nancy Wellerstein comes into the picture. She's on the County Parks and Recreation Committee, and with her colleagues, they come up with the idea of moving the electric house into the bowling alley. It's a space where you can move a whole house into, and they want to refurbish the King Louis.
So it's like a 2-for-1 thing, problem solved.
Yes, problem solved, but not quite so fast. Not everybody's on board with this plan. This is going to cost money, but this is where Nancy Wellerstein steps in, and she really starts to lobby. Not only that, she's also a major supporter of the arts, including the county's Theater in the Park program. As you can imagine, you can only perform in the park in the summer, and she's looking to add indoor space, and she seized on it when she had the chance.
I had to come up with an idea to make it a functional, financially sustainable building and hub for the community. And the first thing that happens in a community when school districts have to cut budgets, they cut the arts. And there was a need for more arts programming in the community. And so this was the opportunity, and it has turned into a hub of activity that I don't think anyone has even imagined that it could be this vibrant.
So she's right. Arts do get cut every time. That's always the first thing to go when money is tight. So the county steps in and saves the arts.
Well, yeah, but there was still a lot more work to do. Ed Eilert is a Johnson County commissioner, and he was the one that Nancy lobbied to get his vote to approve funding to renovate the bowling alley.
She came up with the idea that we could have some other community activities at that facility. One of them was we created a black box theater for use by community theater groups, and also the Johnson County Parks and Rec has a theater in the park summer production, and they could use it for winter productions if they so desired.
So Nancy won and good government prevailed. I love it. So just what is the bowling alley doing now, though?
Well, for starters, now it's called the Johnson County Arts and Heritage Center. There are so many things going on inside. There are 2 theaters. There's dance space. There's art space. There's art exhibit space. Folks get married there. They have meeting spaces. They have the county parks offices there. It's just a constantly busy place. The sponsor of the Good Government Show is Liquid.
And we love Liquid, and not just because they are the sponsor.
Well, that's why we love them, because they are the sponsor. But Liquid, what they are is they're a digital marketing and technology company. And what they do is they help other companies find their customers, then they engage them digitally. One of their customers was a 5th-generation business, and Liquid got involved and helped them tell their story and highlight their rich history on their new website that Liquid created.
The family had trouble just talking about their products. Well, Liquid showed them a clear way to get their message across.
And now they have a new award-winning website, thanks to Liquid, where they have people that make websites and write websites and create websites.
That's right. Liquid has a full creative staff. They find out where each customer's clients live online, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, whatever it is. The bottom line is Liquid helps their customers with a full digital marketing campaign.
And that's why we love Liquid, and because they're our sponsor, but we really do love Liquid. At Liquid, they make digital work. So check them out on the World Wide Web at liquidint.com. That's liquidint.com. The Good Government Show is also sponsored by the Rodale Institute. Well, what is the Rodale Institute, you say? Well, the Rodale Institute is growing the organic movement through research, farmer training, and consumer education. Hey, they make healthy food. What's better than healthy food that tastes great? With 8 locations across the country and online educational programs, Rodale Institute provides workshops, webinars, and online courses. Like you could learn to be a beekeeper, or you could learn how to grow epic tomatoes, and the classes are very affordable. Rodale does farm consulting and training programs, helping to move the business and products of our agricultural system to a more organic and regenerative future. Check them out at rodaleinstitute.org. That's rodaleinstitute.org. The Good Government Show is also sponsored by Kutztown University, with more than 130 areas of study, 200 student groups, and 22 Division II sports teams. Kutztown University is the perfect place to find your passion, right in the Lehigh Valley of Pennsylvania. Here's what I know about Kutztown. They have a great rugby team. I've seen them play. They're very good. And they have a sports management program, which is among some of the many business programs they have. The school started as a teacher's college, and they still have an excellent educational program. Arts programs and a German history program are just some of the many ways that Kutztown University stands out. At Kutztown, you can truly major in discovering yourself. That's Kutztown University. So, let me introduce you to Tim Baer. He's the producing artistic director of Theater in the Park and the manager of Fine and Performing Arts for Johnson County Parks and Rec.
Well, he sounds pretty busy.
He is, but he's been waiting for an opportunity like this.
We were always looking for an opportunity to expand our summer season. Traditionally, we do 5 big musicals in the summer, which starts generally around the 1st of June and goes through the first weekend of August, depending on how summer falls, of course. But we were always really looking for the opportunity to do something beyond our summer season. The difficulty was that we just had no facility to do it. So we were really looking for an inside theater, a space that we could produce theater in something other than the summer.
So it sounds like this is really coming together.
It is, but I'll let Tim explain it more.
We've created an opportunity for people in our community inside this facility to continue to fill our black box theater here with theater. So yeah, we have in a way created a kind of a theater scene inside this facility. I think it's really important for Johnson County. Johnson County is a great place to live, honestly. We're in Kansas, and across the border is Kansas City, Missouri. There's lots of small theater spaces inside Kansas City, Missouri, across the state line, down in the kind of the urban core of the city. And there wasn't anything in more the world of suburbia, kind of. And that's kind of how it feels here inside Johnson County. So I think it's really great that there's a space now inside a different kind of area, really. I know this is about inside, but Theater in the Park has a large demographic that attends theater, when we're doing our outside season. But again, because of the small nature of our theater here and the spirit of the shows that we can produce inside, I think we're reaching a broader audience just by virtue of that, by what we're able to offer. And the other groups that have found some kind of home here as well are able to do theater that they wouldn't otherwise get to do.
A home for theater in an old bowling alley. Who would have thunk it? This really is a great story and makes me want to go to Kansas.
I'm sorry, Carol, you're not in Kansas anymore.
You had to do it.
I'm sorry, I had to. So let me introduce you to Darcy Hungala. She's a songwriter and a performer. She just graduated from high school, and she had a song included in a local production called Songs for a New Now at the theater at the center. And actually, she's headed to New York University to study theater, and she hopes to get on Broadway. She works at the Arts Center, and she performs there.
It's a second home for me. I've definitely found a really close bond with the people I work with, but I've also found a close bond with the people I perform with. And so this place has definitely created a second home for me outside of, my family.
But what it's also done is provide a venue for local people to perform right in their own town.
I've worked here many times, and I do definitely get a lot of opportunities to perform than other towns and other places near us don't have. I feel very grateful that I have all these opportunities to perform.
So it seems this new arts center really has created a new community center that's cool.
It has, but there's a lot more to this place. And for Diane McLean, the Arts and Heritage Center really saved her son Daniel's life.
Oh, those are strong words. Really saved his life?
Yeah, it really did. Daniel suffers from a few medical and mental conditions, including being autistic. So after a recent hospital stay, she said her son was basically non-communicative and nearly catatonic. His older sister had gone off and gotten married. He was out of high school, but he couldn't have a job. He had taken a few art courses at the local community college, but basically he had nothing to do and pretty much no motivation to do anything. His physical and mental conditions were getting worse, but then he found the arts program at the center.
He started the program after he had been discharged about 6 months, and he went from barely being able to talk, or if he did, it didn't always make sense, to being like the spokesperson for this group. And this program totally changed his life. He started the program after being through a series of hospitalizations. The last one was 3 months, and he was pretty much non-functioning due to catatonia that's related to autism, and we thought we were totally losing him.
Wow, this new art center sounds like it really did change his life.
It really did. He shows up now. His overall health's improved. He even sells his art, and he shows at the theater, and he has friends.
This gave him something to do. Somebody expected him to be there. Somebody appreciated what he did and valued what he did, and was able to help support him, because it was he couldn't do it independently. And so that he has a purpose now, and he feels like he has something to contribute, and that he's able to have a job and do what he loves. And it's really rewarding for him. It gives him a huge sense of independence and some hope that he can, become more independent.
It's amazing how it shows one small project, building an art center, how the whole thing can really affect just one person.
It really does, Carol. And this really shows how government really can improve and change a life. And there are many Daniels in this program.
Okay, I really do want to check out this place. It sounds wonderful.
Well, I have something for you.
Oh.
This fall they're staging the Full Monty. At the Black Box Theater. So how's that for you? Go see a play, the men do the Full Monty there in Kansas.
I could get into that.
All right, well, you go see the play. I'm going to go check out the Electric House.
I'm in. Well, this is certainly a good government success story.
It is. But I'm going to let these folks sum up what it's like to have a new and vibrant art and heritage center and what it means to them. First, we're going to go back to Nancy.
Every day, my chest puffs up, and I just have some tremendous pride in what this has become and how it has become a hub for the community, and bringing arts into the community that was fairly barren for Johnson County. We don't really, all of the arts venues seem to go into the Kansas City, Missouri area, but this is one of the ones out in the suburbs for the county and for all of the locals.
Tim sees this place as a space for all artists.
We're providing opportunity for our artists in our area to exhibit their work and to share what they do with the community that lives here.
And now that it's proven to be a success, the politicians can look back on a wise decision.
Being in public office over a period of years, there are a lot of decisions you have to make. And you hope that the decisions you make are the right ones for the benefit of the community. And this one turned out very, very well. And I'm sure in my career in public office, there have been some that did not go so well, perhaps. But this one, yes, I'm very proud of.
But ultimately, it really comes down to the people, government helping the people who voted them into office. And when you have a story like Daniel McLean, his mother, Diane, it shows how good government can really change a person's life, even if it's just a few art classes.
Oh my gosh, without Arts and Heritage Museum and the space they've provided for the emerging artists, I don't know. I don't know what we would have done, because he needed engagement. The engagement is what saved his life. The art is what saved his life.
That's good government in action, renovating an old bowling alley and an ice rink and creating new programs and opportunities for today. Great story. But I want to know how you get those tickets for the Full Monty.
All right. Well, we just have to go to the Johnson County Art and Heritage Center. And you can see a fun musical. You can see the men going the Full Monty. But you also see a great example of good government at work. So, thanks for listening. I'm David Martin.
And I'm Carol DeOria. And this is The Good Government Show.
Thanks for listening. See you next time. The Good Government Show is a Valley Park production. Jason Stershic is our editor and producer. Associate producers are Jade Ludlow and MacKenzie Martin. The executive producers of The Good Government Show are Jim Ludlow, David Martin, and David Snyder. Join us again right here for another episode of The Good Government Show.